guys, welcome back here to the Fishing Teacher, and really appreciate you guys hanging out with me a little bit today and checking the video out. And guys, today I want to give you my opinion on fish scents. I have been using fish scents forever. I've talked about it quite a bit on the channel, but I want to give you guys sort of my honest opinion of it, what I think about it and my experiences with it. I literally started using it. I started making my own back in the 1970s when I was in high school. And I've used about every type of scent that has ever came out with. And you know, I've got some opinions on it, and I've got some situations where I know it works and situations I'm not sure. So I sort of want to give you guys my opinion on it and the times that you really should consider using it. So we'll get into that today's video. And guys, today, the fish scent that I'm talking about that is my favorite, I'm going to talk about a bunch of the other scents too, but the one that I've been using here lately that I just love is that bait pop here, this new. The thing about this, guys, is this stays on your bait a long time. You put it on your finger, you rub it in there, and it'll stay on like 30 minutes. It's not like the stuff you spray on that comes off. It comes in a bunch of different colors and flavors. It's got real fish in it. It's got amino acids. It's just, I just like it. I mean, I got a lot of confidence in it. So I'll put the bait pop link in in my Tackle Warehouse link in the description of this video if you guys would like to pick up a couple tubes of it. But I've had some pretty good success on it, and I want to really talk about that in today's video. Okay, let's get a little bit into the history of the scent, how I've been through it and my experiences with it, how I've come to get confidence in it under certain situations. I started out making my own just with oil and aniseed scent, years ago. And I've just made I got spray bottle, and I used that for probably 10 years, just my own anisette and oil, and thought that was, I don't know if it worked or not, but I had a lot of confidence. I'd read a lot that of articles that Doug Hannon had done on fish being able to smell, and I just thought it was for my benefit, because one of the things I do know about it is I don't know exactly how good bass can smell, but I know they can smell, because here's how I know this. There are some soft plastic lures that look exactly like crawdads, guys. For example, that I got one laying out here. Don't have one here, but like that Megabass sleeper crawl that I use, guys. Some of those crawdad lures, they look exactly. I think I got one hanging up here. They look exactly like crawdads, exactly. And you can take a soft plastic crawdad imitator like that, and you can put a live crawdad. And guys, if you put a bass in the tank, every single time they will hit the live crawdad, even if the live crawdad's not moving. And I think it's because they can smell it. They know what is alive, and they know the difference between smelling a piece of soft plastic, even if it's got some type of scent on it, versus a live crawdad that actually is part of their food chain and has been for millions of years. So you can't really fool them all the time, but you can fool them a little bit, because there's a difference between having a chunk of soft plastic that smells like soft plastic and then a chunk of soft plastic where you have some type of scent on it like that maybe fools them a little bit. So I know that they can smell for sure. Now, here is the thing. There's one thing happened to me that got me confidence in scent. I was fishing a Bassmaster Invitational down at Lake Eufaula in Alabama. This was probably the early to mid 1990s. And I was catching my bass, slow rolling a spinnerbait, fishing it real slow, just barely crawling along the bottom. And the first day of the tournament, I had over 20 pounds. And the second day of the tournament, I had over 20 pounds. And I was in second place going into the last day of the tournament. And the second day of the tournament, this was back when you had not a co-angler, but it was a pro-on-pro draw. So you had two people fishing up front back in the old Bassmaster days. And I caught my limit that weighed over 20 pounds, slow rolling the spinnerbait. And the guy fishing with me, he hadn't had a bite. And I even gave him spinnerbait. I gave him the exact spinnerbait I was using. He didn't have a bite, and he was getting frustrated. And I was feeling pretty charitable because I was smoking them in the tournament. I had big bags going on. And he let me do what I wanted to do. So I said, dude, the only thing I can think is I'm using scent. I've been dousing this bait heavily in scent. At the time, I was using fish formula, which actually bait pop has fish formula in it. And so anyway, he put some of my scent on, and the very first cast he put on that, he caught a 5-pound 10-ouncer, and then he caught another 5-pounder, and he had been fishing right next to me for 4 hours without a bite. And that convinced me at that point that bass can smell. And I've been confident with that ever since. So I've used a variety of different scent, guys. I've used the oil type scent that you squirt on. I've used the aerosol. I used Bang garlic for a lot of years. I really like that. I was sponsored by Fish Formula for a lot of years. I used that. And I have had different companies send me half a dozen different type of fish scents over the past couple of years, you know, having the YouTube channel. I've tried all them and they work. I've got confidence in them. But here's the thing about it is the times that I use scent is in if I'm really trying to maximize my day on the water, because here's what I think, and from all of my experience with fishing. Number one, scent is going to work better on a slow bait. If you got a bait, you know, like a jig or something like this, the reason that scent works better like on a slow bait is a lot of times the bass will nose down on it and they get like that far away from that bait. And I can promise you they can smell that far away. So having scent on a slow bait that's on the bottom is critical. I even use it on a faster bait. I don't think it probably matters as much, but any type of a slow bait, I think that's the number one thing with it. The number two with it is, in my opinion, this is how effective scent is. Let's say, for example, you go out and I fish this jig all day long and I get 10 bites on it with no scent. I am confident from my experimentation with scent over the years, if I can get 10 bites fishing a jig with no scent on it, if I went out the next day and I started putting heavy scent on it, you know, like I put the bait pop all over it, I think I could probably get 13 or 14 bites. I think that you probably increase your bite ratio 10 to 20% in that range by using scent. That's just been my experience with it. So if I'm fun fishing, a lot of times I won't use it, but if I'm competitive fishing or if I'm serious or if the fishing's really tough, I usually always use it. And another advantage of scent, guys, I'll tell you one little trick here that I've figured out with scent is I scent my line. One of the things that I'll do, especially if I'm pitching or flipping, is I'll take some scent like this and I'll rub it in my fingers like that, and I'll rub it up and down the line for like the first, 10 feet or so. I'll put, like a chum scent. And also a lot of times if I'm flipping and pitching, where like I'm flipping like that, a lot of times the line comes through your finger and it catches up if your fingers aren't slick. By putting scent on your fingers, your line will go a lot smoother through your fingers when you're pitching and flipping. So overall, guys, I think it works. Like I said, I have used it forever. Guys, I'm not saying this, just to sell bait pop. I've used scent forever. A lot of guys that have fished with me have seen me. But anyway, guys, if you're looking for some, guys, just try this stuff here, this bait pop. It comes in a lot of different flavors. It's got sparkles in it. Really good stuff. So I'll put that link in the description of the video. Hope it helps out, guys. We'll talk later.